Hey guys, how's it going? And today I'm bringing you an Iwaki alpha game sent to me by my friend EmpressNyagato. And this ship is the Tier 4 Japanese Premium, and no, you cannot buy it. It is the ship that was given to alpha testers after the closed alpha test when it shifted into closed beta. It was the first ship to receive the smokescreen. Or I shouldn't say the first ship, the first cruiser to receive the smokescreen. It was supposed to be its gimmick. But now it's the lowest tier cruiser to get the smokescreen. And you may be thinking, wow, this is a weird place to start a replay. Well, I don't know what was going on with Warships that day, but I guess Nyagato kind of crashed out of the game that they were in. So we're kind of starting in the middle, but we're still going to see most of the game, as this is basically where all the gunfire started. And you can see a division mate over there. Now, who's going to go down first? That Fuso looks like he might eat a torpedo, unless, yep, there we go. Now the Iwaki's got 6 10-kilometer torpedoes, and they are matched by having 10.2-kilometer main battery guns. It has how many guns? I think it has 5 guns. It's basically a Tenryu. It's a slightly upgraded Tenryu. So it's slightly bigger, slightly more HP, I do believe, and it has a smokescreen. But I'm not an alpha tester, so I don't know a ton about this ship. And hey, look at that. Sent it right to the dock. Maybe you can get some repairs while you're at that. Since, you know, being broadside to a battleship usually doesn't turn out too well for ships like this. But, good thing for the smokescreen, the Fuso can't see Nyagato as they back up off the island they just stuck themselves to. First set of 10-kilometer torpedoes missed. The division mate in the Tier 4 Kuma is trying to brawl it out with that Fuso. I do not think he's going to come off very well in that. And there he goes. But will that Fuso continue to sail in a straight line? Yep. 2 torpedo hits and down goes the Fuso. So, who is next? There was a destroyer over here. I think he is gone. It seems like the team is cleaning up the enemy team really well. So it looks like the disconnect that Nyagato had early on isn't really affecting them too much. And oh boy, that's a Congo. Better hope he's not looking this way, because that is really close. And Nyagato does not have a lot of health. But torpedoes away. Will this Congo be smart enough to actually turn the ship? It is an ARP Congo, so it was earned in one of the Arpeggio events. I do enjoy mine. I always enjoyed the Congo, to be honest. And the ARP Congo is just a very nice way to have a premium Congo, basically. But opening up on the main battery guns, doing a little bit of damage here and there. Low tier Japanese guns aren't great, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. The Congo decided they didn't need to turn it all and ended up eating 2 more torpedoes, which continues to add to the score. Enemy Miyogi way out there. And we're pretty much alone over here with one little destroyer next to us. That Congo took down the 1 cruiser that was on this side along with Nyagato. So where should we go? It looks like we're going after the Miyogi right now. But the funny thing is, the enemy carrier is not too fast, and it doesn't look like he expected to lose this side too hard. Because there he is. And he's kind of coming this way. It is a bogue. They don't have a very fast top speed. And when you're in a bogue, you really want to position yourself, because as soon as you get caught out, you're never escaping anything that's chasing you, because you're basically the slowest ship at your tier. Since it's just, I think it's an oil rig, or not oil rig, I think it's a oil tanker. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that was a carrier to begin with. I think it's a converted ship. But that might just be the Langley. I know the Bogue isn't a great carrier. I can't say I didn't like it. I liked seal clubbing in it. But I definitely didn't like the speed. It wasn't very maneuverable, and it really relied on its small size in order to dodge enemy carrier strikes. But that doesn't matter when the enemy team catches you like this. And that Bogue's gonna figure out that he's not really safe now. And there's one fire from the destroyer. Nyagato's shells are now hitting it, doing a decent amount of damage because Bogue has no armor. And there's a citadel with high explosive just to prove my point. But continue to pound shells into this. It doesn't look like the enemy team's holding out too long. So we might as well farm damage on this enemy carrier while we can. Get as much as we can. And be happy that the disconnect didn't completely screw us over. But this replay just goes to show that, I mean, you can do a ton after coming back from a disconnect. It's definitely not the end of the game. As long as you can apologize to your teammates and they understand that, you know, the game wasn't doing too well for you and the destroyer just knocked out that Bogue, that, well, you can still contribute. I mean, the game's not over. You still got a ship, as long as the enemy didn't find you yet, sitting wherever you are. I mean, Nyagato was in a really bad spot, but I'm surprised nobody took pot shots at him. But it just shows that you can contribute, and there's the end of the game as the last ship on the enemy team is sunk. But, I don't know. It wasn't so much that the damage of this game impressed me. It was the contribution after coming back from a disconnect where they were basically out of the game for 3 to 5 minutes. And especially on a small map like this, the game will go really fast and your ship could be gone by the end of that. But even on larger maps, you'll see people disconnect and then just quit out of the game because they don't think they'll be able to contribute, or they'll rush the front line and immediately die, not thinking that they could sit back a little bit, support their team, and get the same amount of damage in that they could have done even without the disconnect. So this is kind of a video showing that. It's a video showing off a little bit of the Iwaki Alpha because, you know, I don't have one. I know a lot of people don't have one because it is just an alpha tester exclusive ship. And I really wish I had it because it does look like a really fun ship, especially with those 10-kilometer torpedoes that, you know, those battleships driving in straight lines just don't like to avoid. And it would be really fun. It would be really fun to take out at that tier. And of course, going into the first end screen goes to show, because Nyagato has a mod that tells them exactly how much damage they did, which is really nice. Too bad I play the vanilla game and don't really take too many mods into the game because the patches like to break those. But 66,800 damage done. Really good game for being disconnected for the first part of it, and for your team just absolutely destroying everything. Very good job to them. It's a good thing that you reconnected and got your damage in while you could. And 43, I got a math at some point, but 43 hits on enemy ships. While the Iwaki's guns don't do a ton of damage, those do stack up after a while, especially if you do start setting fires. And of course, 4 hits on those battleships that somehow lost their rudder somewhere in the middle of the battle, which led to the 2 kills. And then we have all the citadels on the carrier, which, it's a Bogue, it doesn't have armor in the first place, so citadels for free. And then going into the second page, not quite 1,000 experience earned, but third on the team is not bad for the team actually just destroying the whole enemy team in one fell swoop, and being disconnected at the start when they basically killed off half the enemy team. Nyagato really caught up to the rest of the team for what damage they had done and really contributed to the win. Also wanted to point out that the enemy Mutsuki earned 1,000 EXP on a loss, which shows he contributed really heavily to what his team did. Or he tried to contribute heavily to his team's win, but sadly his team didn't quite back him up. But still, good job to him. Also good job to the 2 ships above Nyagato for just absolutely decimating stuff. I know that New Mexico probably did a ton of damage. So, really good job to Nyagato's team here. They really just crushed the enemy team, and it was it was a really kind of neat game to watch, just because, well, I can't say it was super neat because, I mean, that's how that map works. You either crush the enemy team or you don't. But it's really cool to see contribution after you've been disconnected, rather than just, you know, complain in chat and say, oh, this game's over, I disconnected, I'm never gonna get my damage totals back up, I'm not gonna earn anything, this is gonna be a crappy first win for me. It just goes to show you can contribute and get some damage off on those not turning battleships. And to sum it all up, we have the final damage report screen, where it goes to show Nyagato did around 31,000 just with the shells from the ship, which is kind of neat since it was only 43 hits and didn't really use the guns a lot on a lot of those ships. I mean, yeah, the battleships got shot at a bit, but most of those did 200 to 500 damage, and some of them just kind of pinged into the belt armor of the ship and didn't quite do a whole lot, especially since the superstructure on the Congo and stuff, just based on deck space, is kind of small, and it can be hard to hit from decent range. Then again, 10 kilometers isn't super far for the Japanese guns, so I guess some hits could be warranted. But that 35,000 damage with torpedoes is where you gotta look, because, well, those battleships just love driving in straight lines, and it just goes to show, even at low tiers, don't drive in straight lines. Even if you think you're seal clubbing, there's probably somebody on the enemy team who's doing it too. And you will get punished for not turning. Even if you think that enemy destroyer is not very skilled, he too could be flying a rank 1 flag that you never noticed. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was kind of a short video because it was a disconnect and it wasn't a super amazing, awesome-tastic, holy crap, they brawled the whole enemy team 1v15 type game, but I thought it was kind of neat just to show contribution after you were basically AFK for the first 3 to 5 minutes. And I think a lot of people could learn from this. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Get out there, sink some ships, and have a great day.